Saying, man, I really like the interior. Like, the interior on this car is just absolutely sick. And then you're like, what? This is like the most Dumbo steering wheel. Let's go. Let's go. What's happening, guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another video. Today is the day we are fixing the one thing that I cannot stand with my A90 Supra. It's time to replace that steering wheel. Honestly, how many times have you heard me complain about the steering wheel in this car? Honestly, comment down below right now how many times you think you've heard me complain about the steering wheel in my Supra. Gotta be over 50. In numerous videos, gotta be over 50, but I am not the only one who's complaining. You guys have been complaining too. And you've been asking me, John, when is the steering wheel coming? Today, you guys, it showed up. It's finally here, and it is beautiful. Beautiful. I can't wait to show you guys. So you guys, the company that built this steering wheel for me is AzaAutowheel. I'm gonna leave their information down below. They've done the steering wheel on my E90 M3, and now they did it on my Supra, and it is gorgeous. As you guys saw with the A90 M3, I went with like a very OE plus, simple but clean steering wheel. I did the same thing with the Supra, but with a touch of carbon fiber. Not too much, just a little bit, and I think it's the right amount for this car. So the stock steering wheel is big, dumb, ugly. It's got this like really skinny handle on it. It's two-toned, which I don't really like the two-tone in this car. I think it's cool having like the seats and everything in red, but I want everything else black. So it just made sense for me to go all black on the steering wheel. Just a little bit of spice with the carbon fiber on the wheel. And then we have a couple of options with paddles. I actually have 3 sets of paddles to choose from. I'm gonna make that final call once I have everything out of the car. As far as the actual process of removing this steering wheel and putting in the old one, it's pretty easy. I've already done it, so I'll be able to blow right through it. If this is your first time doing this though, it might take a little bit longer. It's kind of a pain getting that airbag off. We are gonna have to disconnect the battery. But before we get into any of that, let's show you guys the wheel. All right, you guys, here is the new wheel. I love everything about this design. It's all black. We now have the thumb indentations in the wheel right here, which are super comfortable when you're driving. They also threw in some little carbon fiber paddles back here. I don't think I'm gonna use those, but that was definitely a nice touch. We obviously have the carbon fiber trim piece up here, and then the carbon fiber inlay down here. The all black leather design is what I love most about this wheel. It's a much nicer feeling leather. It's obviously much thicker than the stock wheel in the flat bottom. When I built this wheel with AzaAutowheel, I just told them, basically all I want is like an OE plus wheel. I want something very simple. I don't want too much carbon fiber, but it would be nice to add a little bit. I definitely want the flat bottom. I definitely want the thicker with the thumb indentations right here. And then they did the rest. And this is what they came up with, and it's perfect. It's honestly exactly how I would have made it. I'm not a big fan of the stripes that people put on them, but if you want that, you can do that on yours. These wheels are 100% customizable. So if you want to go in and like put in the digital display, if you want to add like the M stripes, if you want to add more carbon up top and down below, if you just want a full circular wheel, if you want different colors, you can do all that with these wheels with AzaAutowheel. I just tend to err on the side of like simple and like OE plus and clean. This is actually my first time doing carbon fiber on a steering wheel at all, but it's just a little bit of carbon fiber. It's not a lot, so I like it. I think it actually worked out really well. I'm not a big fan of the wheels that have the carbon fiber all over the place. Just a little bit much for me. I like to keep it clean, as you guys know. But this wheel, I'm hyped on this wheel. This wheel looks really good. So in addition to the steering wheel, Keys Motorsports sent me out some paddles. Let me show you those. So these are the paddles I was thinking about using instead of the ones that were on here. So they are carbon, but they're just a little bit longer. This is kind of like the style that I have in the car right now, but the ones that are in the car right now are just black aluminum from Golden Wrench. I do like them. I think they're nice, but I would prefer to have a little bit more carbon, I think. I think this just goes better with this theme. If you guys are interested in a wheel from AzaAutowheel, I'm gonna have their information down below to where you can contact them, build out your own wheel however you want, and they will ship over the wheel for you. new. And then of course, I'll also link below the Keys Motorsports paddles. All right, so let's get into the installation of this new steering wheel. First step, we're gonna have to disconnect the negative terminal on the battery. It is in the trunk. Follow me. Bum, ba-dum, bum, bum. All right, so if we go into the trunk, you slide up that cover in the back, there is your BMW battery. We're gonna go ahead and disconnect the negative terminal. It should be a 10 millimeter. And then we'll place a rag underneath that so it cannot short out on anything. Might be a good idea to wrap a rag through here as well so you don't accidentally close the trunk. Not the end of the world if you do. All right, good. The reason you have to disconnect the battery is because we are in fact removing the airbag during this installation. Now before we get into all of that, I'm just gonna go ahead and put the paddles in first since we already have everything. AzaAutowheel sent me a fully assembled steering wheel. So all I need to do is get the airbag out of the old one and then throw it into the new one and we're good to go. So that makes this entire process really, really easy because I don't have to like completely take apart that steering wheel and then put parts onto here. So we're just gonna take apart this one that's already out of the car, throw in the new paddles, which is really simple, and then go ahead and remove the airbag, pop that off with the 16 millimeter. Remember when you guys put it back on, you'll need a little bit of Loctite. Gonna torque down to 45 foot-pounds of torque, and we should be good. If you guys are interested in how to install the paddles, I actually made an entire video on how to do that. I'll link it right here in the card. Go ahead and watch that if you're confused at all, but for this video, I'm just gonna go ahead and do it since we've already explained this. Yep, no question, that was the move. Look at how good that looks. I think it fits this wheel a lot better as well. All right, so time to take out the old one, pop in the new one. Dude, this is about to be such a game changer. See, I don't mind these paddles, the ones I have in here now, these aluminum ones. I think they look pretty good. But with all the carbon, I think that the carbons are gonna work out really, really well with that wheel. If I don't love it, I'll just end up switching down the road back to these. So what we need is this screwdriver. There are little slits in the steering wheel, and you're gonna put the screwdriver into the slit. Now, when you do this, there's a little channel that has a spring, and you need to push in on the airbag while you insert the screwdriver. The goal is to push in, hit the spring, and it'll unlock the airbag. You'll hear it click as soon as it works, and it'll lift up. And then you do the same thing on this side. So I'm gonna go ahead and do it. If this is your first time doing it, just be patient because it's gonna take you a little bit of time. Don't just start like stabbing. You don't need to go that far in, just like an inch in, maybe not even an inch. It doesn't take much. So don't just start stabbing if you can't find it. Pull it back out, be gentle with it, go back in. I know, that's what she said. But yeah, the trick is that you have to lay in to the airbag while you insert the screwdriver. If you don't do that, you're not gonna unlock it. So let me go ahead and knock this out real quick. Doesn't matter how many times I do that, it's annoying every single time. So we've got a couple of plugs in here. We've got this guy right here. We've got that little white one up there. Those two are the only two you pull out. And then we have this bolt, which is Loctited in. It is a 16 millimeter. When you put this back in, you're gonna wanna make sure to use a little bit of Loctite. Now, before we actually remove the entire steering wheel, we have to unplug this guy right here, just like that. And then you've got another one right up there. So now the wheel should be completely free. And remove it. While you are swapping wheels, make sure you do not twist any of this. A quick comparison for you folks. Here's what we were talking about. So the thickness is the main part. These feel a lot better, a lot more sports car. This is like Toyota Corolla action, Toyota Camry action. Differences here, carbon inside there, carbon outside here. All of the functionality is going to be the exact same. It carries all over. I like this setup because it's simply plug and play. All I had to do is put on my paddles, pop it right back in the car, and we're done. And then obviously flat bottom. I am a huge fan of the flat bottom. I think it really, really enhances the look of the steering wheel. There's just something, this wheel is just so, I don't know, I just cannot stand the steering wheel. So this one looks 10 times better. Obviously the thumb cutouts too, I really like. These are like, look at how tiny that is, dude. Look at how tiny that is. Look at it. Look at it. All right, let's take our new one and throw her in. Oh, I'm so stoked. There is a notch at the bottom right here. You're gonna line that notch up with the notch on the actual stem. Very simple. They line right up, should slide right in. And we just put those plugs back in that we unplugged. Put our 16 mil back in. Take a little bit of Loctite, nothing crazy. Just a nice little ring. I did read that the torque specs were 45 foot-pounds of torque. Oh my God, it looks so much better. Holy crap. Airbag goes back in, 2 plugs. Simply lock her back into place. Wow, this airbag doesn't look nearly as bad on this wheel as it did the other wheel. It almost like fits this wheel a lot better. Dude, this looks so good. Holy crap. See what I mean? Like fits this car and everything so much better. That is clean, bro. That is a clean steering wheel. The thickness is like the biggest part. Like that, it makes such a big difference in the way that the wheel just feels and how like the cockpit looks. Really like the carbon fiber. Not too much, nothing too crazy. A lot of people like to put carbon on the outside, which is totally fine. Do your thing, do your thing. But I really like this all leather look. I think it's just a lot cleaner. Yeah, man, this is beautiful. I love it. I think it looks really good. It honestly looks so much better than the one that comes with the car. But this is super clean. This is definitely more my speed. So I'm gonna take the car out and get some photos, get some new shots of it, maybe get a little cinematic. But yeah, man, this worked out. Really happy with it. Dude. It is so nice. Man, I am feeling this. Oh my God, look at how much better it looks. This is the wheel that this car should have came with. Finally, we have a steering wheel that we can be proud of. But anyways, guys, that's gonna wrap up today's video. Install super easy, follow the steps, very straightforward. Just make sure that you disconnect the battery before you do everything. If you guys are interested in a wheel from AzaAutowheel, I'll leave the information down below. Hit them a DM. They can set up your wheel however you want, fully customized or super basic like mine. I'll also have the Keys carbon fiber paddles listed down below as well. But as always, guys, thank you so much for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.